So hello and welcome to this week's angling vlog. This week you join me out on the banks of the River Ribble and we're in search of silvers on the Bolo. So this is the first time we've come up here in 2025. I really have missed it the last couple of weeks, what with the snow and the floods that have come after it. The river now is quite low really, and that is a sign of how quick this river can drop. All the other rivers around the northwest are still, holding a bit of water, like the Dane and the Weaver and the Severn, but the Ribble you can always rely on to drop really quickly. So as you can see on screen, conditions are great and overcast, which is great for fishing. The water is quite clear, which means we're going to go a bit further into the river again, but I'm hoping we can get 1 or 2 bites. So before we do get into the video, I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody that leaves the nice comments down below. I really enjoyed that video last week where we were on that puddle for those silvers. Looking back over your memories just showed me the magic of fishing, and it's great to read how you started and where that journey's took you. So really, thank you very much for all the support you show the channel, and if you are new around here, please like the video down below and subscribe. Looking at the peg, you can see it's quite shallow as it goes out. We're going to be looking to be getting our bites in line with the tree, going down the shadow. Obviously getting your baits out there can be quite difficult, so looking at the side tray, we've got quite heavy baits in corn, hemp, and what we're going to hope is draw them a bit closer to us, and then maggots. The plan is to feed maggots in line with me, the hemp just above the tree, and the corn as well, and hopefully just stay in that slightly deeper water. To help me get some bait out there as well, mixed up some ground bait, and that is the Hinders Supercharged, and I've got some of the seafood in there as well. You can see there, I can mix it into a nice ball. I put loads of the hemp in, so something a bit different with the hemp today. I've actually gone with some of the pre-prepared stuff you can see on screen now, and there's plenty of that in that bait. You can see there, just squeeze it into a ball and we can feed that into the swim. Setup wise, I've gone with my 17-foot Preston Innovations rod, and it's set up from the last session where we had that lovely pike down to a 4-gram Bolo, nice heavy float to get us out in that flow. We've got a buckshot of weights down the line, and then we've got a short hook linked to a size 18 hook. So a few will have noticed that the videos have been quite similar in tactics, and that's because conditions have been so low this year on the river. Normally if you get a bit of water, it rises by a foot and you can get them right close in, sometimes under your rod tip, but when it's this low and clear you have to go out to them, and with that you need the same type of setup. So to start with, just going to feed a nice big ball of that ground bait into the swim. Just start getting that line of bait set up. Nice big pouch of maggots. You can see they're going over an area, so we're going slightly into the deep and down that line. I'm going to feed 2 big pouches like that. So we're going to start drawing any fish up onto our line. To begin with, we're just going to try and work the swim out really. We know the swim up there is quite even, but these first couple of trots down really are just about working the swim out. So we've been through probably about maybe 10 times without a bite, so just going to keep on persevering, keep putting that bait in, and remain confident that the fish will turn up on that line. So the river is low and clear, so it might not be the instant reaction. They could be in the deeper water. We've got to try and draw them over, and and there we go, right on that tree. Just by sticking with it, I managed to get the first fish of the day. It's a decent quality one as well, which is a good sign. And we've waited quite a bit for that bite, but by keeping on putting the bait in, we've got a fish and we're off the mark, and that fish is ice cold, but it's quality, which is good to see. Fed that ground bait. I'm going to cast my float in just a bit upstream and pass the bait while it's settling. Nice big positive pouch of maggots in line with the swim, because we don't want them fish to come up above us, and we're just on the edge of that deeper water. And there we go. I always say where there's one there's normally more. You've just got to remain positive on the Ribble, keep the bait going in, and yeah, just keep putting that column of bait down and the fish hopefully will come onto it, and that's what's happened there. There's been no fish there when we started, and as we began to introduce bait, these fish have moved in. And if two fish were worth waiting for, it's most definitely them. Two cracking days to start with, but my hand is freezing, so it took us a while to work out a bit of a line, but we've kept that bait going down, and now one or two fish have arrived, and we've just got to try and keep them there now, keep the bait going in. So at the start of sessions you do get a feeling, it does feel like it's going to be one of them hard days where you've got to work for it to begin with. There are one or two fish moved in, but I say the nature of the swim with it shallowing up is difficult. So if we can get the bites just before we get to the end of the trot, we'll be alright, I think. Every so often that scotch does come on it. Say to about there is our zone of getting bites. I think once it goes below there, it seems to shallow up quite a bit. And days like today where you've got to work for them bites are the ones that I enjoy. Sometimes you can come on here when it's up and it's rod tip and you're just holding back and really attacking it. Today we're attacking it with bait and we're working for them bites, but really enjoyable. So just starting to get into a bit of a routine with it, feeding, casting in, grabbing a ball of that ground bait and getting that float right behind it, and every so often just putting some maggots through the swim as well. And YouTube can fool you at times to be a bite of chuck. It's far from that today. We fed that ball of ground bait and we're just keeping on going over the top, keeping on putting that feed in. There we go. That's probably been 2 trots down since we fed that ball. There are fish there, it's just about getting that presentation right and keeping down that line. And so we're working for every bite. And already today, we already know there'll be plenty of quality in that final net. It's just a case of how many we can get. Feeding that ground bait just that slightly bit further out. I know we can't get all the maggots out there, so I might just start going a bit heavier with the ground bait and the corn. And one of the bonuses of being that bit further out and putting corn in, Mr. Chub definitely loves it, and I learnt that lesson on the Weaver. Chub love corn. One thing they didn't get wrong today was the weather. It said 0 degrees rising to 1, but the real feel on AccuWeather was -2, and it feels like that today. There's an icy cold wind. But these fish like dace and chub, they don't seem to matter. To us lads up north, we just put the winter coat on, or like me today, a hoodie. Joking aside, this really is one of the great, lovely rivers of the north. And it's great to see so many people on it today. It's nobody to bite a chuck. You can see a few anglers. They're getting bites, but can't seem to string them together. And that is one of the things that I do love about rivers. They're ever changing. Every time you come, conditions are different, a new snag might appear, and there's a multitude of swims to try. And today we're putting another piece of that jigsaw together, because although it's shallow down the edge and clear, if this river had maybe a foot or two on it, this could be a very good run here, because it's nice and clear and over gravel. It's been a while since we've had a swan in the vlog. It seemed like there was one every week, and this seems like a different pair than normal. It's been a while since I've seen some up here, but beautiful to see. And what a cracking days to finish on. The net definitely will have quality in at the end, and we'll take a look at it in a moment, but that is a cracking days to end. Right, so the session does come to an end there now, and as you can see on screen, we've had plenty of bites and plenty of quality in that final net. YouTube at times can have a way of making it look all very easy. Today hasn't been easy at all. We've had to work for every bite. The river, low and clear, and quite a shallow swim. We've had to find that deeper water to get the bite. I really do hope you've enjoyed this week's video. If you have, please leave it a like, subscribe down below. And all that remains is for me to wish you all tight lines in your own fishing, and I'll catch you all next week. Tight lines.